gotten used to seeing you guys play at home, and obviously you look at the schedule, and now I think it's 6 of the next 7, something like that, away from Lynn Family Stadium. How have you prepared for this upcoming stretch of games that won't be at home?
Yeah, I think we've done a good job up to this point of dealing with a little bit of adversity. You know, we traveled a ton in July, had a tight schedule, but you know the players are certainly motivated. You know, we've talked about the expectations here and where we want to end up to achieve our goals, and playing on the road in this schedule is something that we have to deal with, right? So we've talked a ton about controlling what we can control, and the schedule is not one of them. So ultimately there's a task at hand, and fortunately for me with this group, I don't anticipate any drop off or anything like that.
OKC, we've seen them twice here. You mentioned from the first game to the second game they were throwing some different looks. Will we see something similar on Sunday, or what do you kind of expect?
Yeah. So it's definitely a much different team when they're playing at home, high pressing, much smaller field, similar to when we were at Tulsa. So certainly a lot of differences from when we've seen them before. With that being said, the players for sure took in the different information that we provided this week. They executed throughout the week. So you know, I feel like the guys are well prepared and ready for the challenge.
You mentioned a smaller field that hasn't prevented you all from scoring. You know, how do you feel about just going on to that sort of pitch like you did at Tulsa?
Yeah, I think there's advantages and there's disadvantages to it, right? I think that our group has certainly shown that on these smaller fields we can put the ball in the back of the net. At the same time, we've conceded a few too many goals on these tight fields, so we put an emphasis on the defensive side of the ball this week. And like I said before, feel really happy with the execution throughout the week, and think we'll be ready to go.
Do you almost look at this upcoming stretch of games as like a different phase of the season because you're kind of preparing to just not be at home much? And if so, what do you want to learn from the group, or what are you still looking for from them as you try to get yourselves right for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's about continuing to go on the path that we're on right now, right, and not allowing travel and you know, different size fields to be an excuse, because the reality is if we want to accomplish our goals that we have for this group this year, playing on the road, you know, 10 out of the last 14 is something that we have to deal with, and fortunately for me, I have a group of men that have done it before. They understand what the goals are, and they understand what it takes to accomplish it. So I think that while there is a little bit of you know, travel and things like that can make it difficult, it's not something that I expect to affect our players.
What goes into a road trip for you all in terms of do you try to find things to do off the field as a team, or is that sort of stuff important, or is that difficult just because of the timeline?
I think throughout a long season, at times it makes sense to be able to go do things together as a group. Obviously, with how close these group of guys are, you know, they certainly spend a lot of time with one another away from the field, and when we're traveling, it's really no different. So a lot of cards are played, you know, a lot of video games are played, that's for sure, in the airport and things like that. But when you're traveling together for a group of time, whether it's 2 days, 3 days, or sometimes we've had to do 5 or 6, I do think there's the meals and the banter. It's a big reason that I feel that we have success, is those relationships and continuing to build, and it's certainly a good time.